is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.
So we just pulled over into a town called Beatty here in Nevada, and there are donkeys on the side of the road just hanging out.
Just chilling.
What on?
Why?
Look at these guys. Oh, hello.
Oh, they're sleeping. I think. I want to give them a chip. Oh, there's a white donkey. I've never seen one with a white face.
That's just nuts. I could be wrong, but I do believe technically we are in what's considered Death Valley, well, at least part of Death Valley. There's an inn over there and a couple other things that say Death Valley. We pulled over on the side of the road because there's a ghost town nearby by the name of Rhyolite. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they have what sets it apart from other ghost towns. They have these giant ghost-like figures near it. We need to stop and see it. You know how I feel about street art and wall murals. Look at this thing. This place is phenomenal. Everything from the donkeys to, oh man, it just blows my mind. Jessica just about lost it. Look at Jessica looking all spooky out here in the middle of nowhere. Way down this road, 1.3 miles, is the Rhyolite Historic Town Site. And this is majestic. This is their very first ghost town. And we've seen these weird statues online. I can't wait to see those. What about you? Yeah?
I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but we saw some very fascinating
statues.
Statues? Art installations?
Of a very grim nature.
Yeah. I'm wondering what's in that hole.
Don't go near it.
I'm not.
I mean, it kind of looks like you could just walk right up to them and sit in their ghostly capes, ghostly figures, if you will.
I think you're allowed to interact with them.
Yeah, I mean, you can go sit on them. It does say The Last Supper.
Does it?
What does it say? The Last Supper, 1984. By A. I can't even pronounce it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Zukalaski. Good one, Jessica.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Zukalski.
Are you going to go sit in the ghostly being?
Yeah. I thought it'd be more human size. Oh, they are.
Yes? That's beautiful. How haunting are these things? Just look at that. I think Jessica's found the ghost that she wants to be inside.
Doesn't it usually go the other way?
I think so. I think it's really neat that you can get up inside these things.
I think you might fit in this one if you duck down a little bit.
I can try it, I will. Here, go down to the one on the far end.
This one all the way down here?
Yeah.
This one's extra spooky.
That's just... I love it. I love this place so much. Here, let's get over this way, get you... Yeah, this is cool. Look at that. Now you're just extra spooky.
It's hard to get into, huh? That's cool. I'm gonna come around to see you head on. Cause you kind of resemble a ghost from Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, I can see that.
Yeah.
These are beautiful. Looks like some of these ghosts are actually doing something. This one over here is an artist. Got a little easel. Man, that wind is really picking up.
Ooh, it is. It's very windy. Oh, I get it. This one's the soul of an artist.
I dig it. Yes, I can see that.
I like it.
It took us a minute to figure out what was going on here, but it's a ghost rider. That building that's right there, there's a sign that said that it was a free museum, but I think with everything that's going on, it's closed. So we can't go inside there, but we can pretty much walk around the Rhyolite ghost town. We haven't even, Jessica, we haven't even gotten to the ghost town itself.
No, this is like a cool little art installation area, and I really think it's great because some of it's just terribly funny, and I don't know if it's not inappropriate, but if you ever wanted to see what a woman looks like naked in Roblox form, there you go.
You know, I've always wanted to go to a ghost town.
Me too.
Like an authentic ghost town, and this is it.
Rock garden.
It's a rock formation kind of thing, garden?
Yeah. Rock garden.
That's rather interesting. I wonder if you can, you know, add a rock.
I'm sure.
That's what, you know, something you can do. Yeah, an ongoing art installation of sorts.
Interactive, maybe?
Right? What is this, a mosaic tile piece? Like an art it's a couch.
Like cement and ceramic.
A sign that says fragile, sit gently, no groups. And who did you say that looks like?
Elvis.
Kind of Elvis?
But it looks like he has a pompadour. No, Johnny Bravo. Because Johnny Bravo reminds me of Elvis. So it looks like his sunglasses and like, you know, maybe he's throwing up some guns. And there's some big hands right here, and that looks like a Chinese opera singer. They wear the demon mask.
Right? Yeah.
I forget what they're called.
They have one of those labyrinths here where you walk in and it's like you can see the other side, you know where you're going. So is it technically really a labyrinth? I don't know. She wanted to do it. She said she's never done one before, and to be honest, it kind of reminds me of Pet Cemetery. So if you do come here to Rhyolite, I can't say for certain, but if I were you, I probably wouldn't bury your pets in this labyrinth. There she is.
They're meant to be for meditation. I just think it's fun.
I know they're meant for meditation. I just thought that I would throw out, don't bury pets in there, because they'll come back to life and kill you. You got a long way to go. You better pick it up.
Okay, I'm done going in circles.
You can see the center. Go for it. Look, you're fully meditated. Was the labyrinth everything you thought it was and so much more?
It's a lot longer.
There's an old road going down to some old building that's been crumbled up or whatever. I have no idea what it is. I mean, after all, it is a ghost town. But there are some really cool things to see here. This is obviously not the original sign, but somebody put it here noting that this building at one point was the schoolhouse here in Rhyolite. It doesn't look like you can get inside the buildings. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could, but I can't imagine that they're safe. They have these barbed wire fence all the way around. Well, at least this building. I'm sure the other ones do too. And signs that say, "Do not enter." Oh man, this is pretty wild. I come around this way. See, it looks more like a schoolhouse from this side, doesn't it? There's no trees. I can't even imagine living here back when Rhyolite was a thing, right? Pretty mind-blowing though. The explorer she is. Jessica's over here near whatever this once was. I saw her walk over here. There you are. What'd you find? Old paint can graveyard?
Tin cans, yeah, really old. Really, really old. I just wanted to see what was in the freezer.
Rather peaceful out here.
It's a wasteland of dead cans.
It's like we're walking up to like an old movie set.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff over there. Half of a building over here. This is awesome.
That one has like a really good entryway. Like it was very uniformed.
Let's see if we can figure out this one. Oh, it has a sign on the front.
1806 or 1906.
1906 HD and LD Porter. Other than that, no other signs.
So Porter was like, I want to say it was like a store kind of, or it was where you'd go to receive things that were being shipped in. I'm not sure. That's a really good question. I feel like I've watched enough movies about old times to know this, but I'm not positive.
I'm guessing at one point this was probably a house. So with that being said, it looks like, I mean, there's no fence, so we can at least walk up.
Oh, signs. I wonder if any signs over here.
Just kind of walk through what once was the gate of sorts, right? In a way, it feels very biblical. I gotta go inside. Hello? All right, well, it's just one room. One rather small room. Wild. Jessica walked on a little ahead of me. She found some plaques, so she wanted to go ahead and read those. Me, I just like to explore. I have a hard time going through museums and stopping and reading every plaque that's on the wall. Let's go ahead and turn this way so you can see it. Stopping and reading everything that's on the wall. I like to just kind of walk through and then see it. Jessica, she'll go ahead of me and she'll read some things and she'll find some stuff that I might find very interesting. Not that I don't find history interesting, but she kind of weeds out that weird information for me. I know I should probably read the signs in museums, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Sometimes I get pretty long-winded, but I like being here. I like walking. I'll say this. I like walking the steps of history, walking through history. I don't want to read it. I want to walk it. Like a bad Karate Kid movie parody, let's go ahead and sweep the valley. Still got to look at that building right there. And as we come across, you can see her probably about the center of your screen just because they're reading one of the many plaques. Come across this way. That building right there is the Porter one that we just looked at. And here's the mansion, I'm guessing. You can see how massive this thing is. And then on the other side of this wall, about the center of your screen, is the old schoolhouse. Not no more. Look at you standing there at that podium like a preacher. What'd you find out?
It's funny you should say preacher. It looks like if you walk this main road and you stick to the right-hand side, not all along, but there are several areas you'll see there's podiums along the way and benches. And these podiums face some of the old buildings, and it tells you what these buildings used to be.
That's cool. See?
So the one that you were just at,
the one that I thought was a mansion,
was called Overbury Building and Bishop Jewelry Store.
Very cool.
Yeah. And you can line up a little bit those front pillars and the foundation that it was built on.
Huh.
Yeah. Not much is left of it else to match, but it looked like this was a very big town, and this entire street was lined with buildings on both sides, big functioning buildings.
Do you remember that walkway that we walked through, right up through the steps? If we pan down here, all thanks to Jessica, you are a wonder. That walkway that we walked through is this right here. You can kind of see, if I pull back a little bit, maybe you can see it a little bit better.
In person, you gotta look a little hard because the photo is so faded, but you can make out that these pillars here match the bricking, and then the foundation kind of does a niche there and then comes over here, and there's another niche where it looks like an old-time clock.
Because of the plaque, Jessica found out that this building right here used to be the old bank here in Rhyolite. This one, we can't walk up inside. Fair enough, we wouldn't want one of those things falling down on us, would we? It's impressive.
It's awesome.
You know, especially since you were saying that there were so many buildings here that over time, these are the ones that have withstood time. Whatever it may be that knocked down the others, or who knows? Look at that.
They even had an irrigation system. You can see the out.
This is miraculous. Looking at the entrance to this building, you see those horizontal lines on that front wall facing the street where we are standing. That looks like a bank, like banks that we see today. There's really not much here today, which is understandable. One of the reasons why they call it a ghost town, right? It's still miraculous to walk these footsteps in history. No clue what this sign is for. You might be able to make it out. I can see it clear as day. But the sun plays tricks on cameras. It says Esmeralda. And then there's just this open desert behind it. It looks like there's at least one more building that we can visit. Everything else seems rather too new. But this one, even though it seems new, you can tell that it's abandoned. and there is a barbed wire fence around it. So we're gonna go check that out. And we're probably gonna hit the road because we got some other sites that we want to see. Cool, right? Any idea yet what this place used to be?
I mean, I want to say cantina or something like that just because of the way it's built. But it very well could have been like the post office. You have no idea.
Right? It looks like some sort of restaurant.
Right?
There looks like some sort of plaque right above the front porch. Can't walk up to it. It's got the most secure fence out of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
What was this place?
Oh man, it could be so many things. It could have been the hospital. If they had any kind of hospital, because it's got that almost crest up on the front.
Right? I'm sure somebody knows what it is and watching this video they might be like, oh yeah, we know what that is. Well, this is what it is, and this is what it looks like today. Oh wow.
They had an old water pump here.
Let's get a little closer to the fence here. Peek through the chain link. Right? Let's look through this. It's beautiful though. Around this corner where Jessica's walking off to the left, there's another shed. I wouldn't call it really a log cabin. It's not a log cabin, it's a wooden cabin. Right?
It could have been anything from a private house, like the mayor or something, or the sheriff, or a
No.
restaurant, or a hospital, or a saloon.
Well, that's what we get for coming around the back of this building. Right there on the front, there's a giant sign that says Rhyolite Casino. We went through the back way. Huh?
Rhyolite Ghost Casino.
Rhyolite Ghost Casino.
But it stands over the original sign, so I think that's more modern.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Still freaking beautiful though. You know what, baby girl? I'm really glad we stopped here.
Yeah.
This has been a trip.
The wind stopped. That's why it's so hot.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy because out here in the desert, when the wind blows, it feels nice, but when it stops, man,
It's 80 degrees.
it's a scorcher. You look beautiful in the desert, just like you're beautiful in a cemetery.
Oh, thanks. There's a cemetery right down the road.
Before we left, we were gonna check out the old cemetery, or at least try to get to the old cemetery. We saw a sign, but off in the distance, I'm gonna zoom in, right about the center of your screen. It looks like there's an old mine entrance. You see it? We've come across a cemetery sign, and you see in our world, in the Grimm Life Collective world of spooky things, when we see a sign like this, especially in conjunction with a ghost town, we have to check it out. Oh, woe is me. Alright, this is definitely us feeling adventurous. The cemetery signs are pointing us down this old dirt and gravel road.
I can't see a cemetery.
I can't see one either. But it's got to be down here somewhere. This is amazing. We decided to ditch the car and walk the rest of the way. The town of Rhyolite is way up there. You might not be able to see it, but we found the road. This road right here goes to the Old Rhyolite Cemetery. It's kind of surprised we found it. I mean, there are signs, but it was a little hard to figure out where we were going. You know, walking behind you, Jessica, with nothing but the desert surrounding you, kind of looks like we're in a horror film.
Are you going to kill me, Mr. Director?
Am I gonna kill you? Oh, you called me Mr. Director. I'm gaining on you. Don't walk faster. Getting closer. Well, would you look at that? There's a gate that we can walk in. All right, so now we're standing in the cemetery.
Very interesting. It's not your traditional cemetery. There's a lot of rocks and metal kind of fences. I'm guessing that out here in the desert, in these harsh conditions, maybe wood doesn't last very long. I haven't seen very many of it anywhere.
Not too long after you walk into the cemetery, there's a plaque here that says Old Rhyolite Cemetery, 1904 to 1912. All these little things left here. So neat. And down here there's a little wreath. Back up, try to get my shadow out of the shot. Pretty surreal, my friend. There's some wooden fences and structures. Like Jessica was saying a little bit ago, most of them are unmarked. A couple metal grates or fences over there. Look at this one. Pretty wild.
Makes you wonder what it used to say.
Right? Or if anything, I mean, maybe just, you know, a marker, and then the family member is all that really needs to know who is buried there, right? There's a couple more down here if you look. You can see over here there's these wooden posts sticking up. Those are other plots stretching down the desert here.
I've only ever seen that in movies.
Right?
An old basic wooden cross left with stones of someone buried in the desert.
Yeah, like old westerns.
Mm-hmm. I think this is also lost.
So what's this one over here?
Bessie.
1986.
Ooh, she was almost 100 years old. So close.
That's another thing that you see in movies a lot. You know, a wooden gravestone, tombstone, I guess you should say, that's been cracked right down the middle. It happens in real life. It's real. Pretty much just walking through the cemetery, looking at all the stones that you can tell that are stones. There's a lot here, a lot of old markers that kind of just blend in with the ground, and it's really hard to see on camera, so we really can't show those.
Just a pile of rocks, some of them.
Exactly, just a pile of rocks. But it's beautiful nonetheless. It's so serene and calm out here. What's the date on this one, baby girl?
1908.
1908.
Mrs. Annie Sisk. Someone carved her some tulips out of wood.
That's nice.
Yeah. The mesh is interesting. Like, what was underneath the mesh way back when?
I love you.
I love you too.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.